Hey guys, welcome to another segment of BAM. This is Brian and Being Anxious, Anxious Me. So what I want to talk about today is the use of drugs or substances to lower your anxiety. So this is always going to be a controversial kind of thing because it helps out a lot, especially when you're using like prescription drugs, especially like Amplify, Xanax, Prolov or Prozac or anything like that. And you use it on a daily basis because you have so much anxiety. Looking at what can help out, we've been trying to use natural remedies for a lot of the things that we've been doing. So natural exercises, breathing exercises, meditation, and trying to have these part of our daily lives is going to be practice. Trying to understand, how we're feeling and our emotions is always going to be a difficult kind of part of. So this talk is going to be basically like a freestyle, right? So not a rapping freestyle, but just an array of things that we can do because I could freestyle, but that would be a completely different thing. So using substances or any kind of aid that can help with our anxiety is always going to be, ambivalent, right? Because we have psychedelics that have been used to help with anxiety, such as herbs and plants, psilocybin. We have ayahuasca. We have marijuana. We have what else? MDMA and LSD. So we have a couple of things that have helped, and there's an actual documentary called Neurons to Nirvana, right? That basically has demystified a lot of the things that a lot of these drugs have been stigmatized for, right? So basically we've had LSD cure alcoholism, and we've had MDMA help with PTSD, and we've had marijuana cure cancer or lower the growth of cancer. So basically what these are called are entheogens, and what a lot of people actually do is they rely on them just because anytime that you're using a substance like alcohol or drugs or any prescription pills, you're basically going to, dissuade from the underlying emotion that you're going to feel. So anytime that you're having like any fear or anger, you always want to question where that's actually coming from. So anytime that you're using a substance, it can dissuade from what you're actually using, and continuing on, you're trying to figure out like what the underlying purpose is that you're using the drug. So if you're using it for like spiritual practice, you have to embed a spiritual practice with it, because sometimes when people just use psychedelics or hallucinogens and don't use these practices such as meditation and integral practice, they become jaded. They become angry with the world just because, it's just a redundant kind of thing, and it's always going to be like the high is never the same. Okay, so what happens? Basically what happens is that people get alternate states, and they become enlightened, right? Because you've had people basically talk about how they saw God or something like that. And, the same thing works with anxiety pills, because it makes it easier for people to socialize or be in situations that they normally wouldn't be in. And again, what we're doing is basically doing some shadow work, because the shadow work is always going to be, you face it, you talk to it, and then you be it. So what we're doing is, it's like a personality, is basically a perspective kind of thing, right? So we're looking at things from the first perspective, right? So first perspective is basically I, right? Me, I am. So second person is going to be the person that's being talked to, so you. Third person is going to be the person that's being talked to, so it, he, she. And basically what happens is that once we have this cognitive dissonance to a lot of the things that we're having, we disassociate ourselves from it. So first we start with first person, then is second person, right? So I feel angry, right? And then next is going to be I feel angry towards another person. And then third would be like this feeling is because of them or it or he or she, right? Or another example would be like I'm angry or I'm sad. You make me sad. I'm mad or I'm sad because of them, right? So again, we're looking at states of being, right? So this is a concept that I actually got from Ken Wilber. What happens most oftentimes is that we go through these stages. So it's like body, mind, and soul, right? So first, second, and third person. It could be basically, self, community, and nature. So first, second, and third. Next is going to be the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. So first, second, and third person. And then we also have like these states that we're basically in. So they call it the gross, subtle, and causal. Subtle can also be astral. So again, these are kind of complicated concepts, but basically it says that we have different bodies within ourselves. So again, it's body, mind, and soul, the same idea. So body would be in the gross state, so this is like our physical form. So the subtle and the astral would be basically anything that we would feel when we have hallucinations and anything that would be like visuals and sounds and stuff like that. And then the causal body would be anything that would be like deep sleep, right? So there's like nothing there. It arises out of nothing, right? So we're also looking at the different states that we're usually in. So basically waking when we're awake, and then sleep when we're sleeping, basically the dream sleep, and then the dreamless sleep. Usually I get this when I'm meditating or when I'm really deep in my REM sleep. So why is this important? So we're looking at a lot of things that we would use on a daily basis all the time, especially the meditation practices that I've done, the anxiety practices that I've taught you. What's important about this is that as humans we think in three perspectives. So we think in first person, second person, and third. So I haven't met anybody that can actually think in fourth person. I'm pretty sure there is a fourth person, if there's like a fourth dimension or something like that. That's a joke. So what we're continuing on is seeing if this is a necessary kind of thing in our lives, because mostly what it is that we're trying to expand our comfort zone, because people have done things naturally and people have used substances to help out. So this can be in sports, this can be in any kind of instance that you can think about. So think about your goals and your morals. Basically it's like, what do you believe in, or do you think that hard work is more fulfilling than taking the easy route? So why am I talking about this? So there's documentaries like Prozac Nation that has said that, we rely too much on prescription drugs. So we use Adderall to stay focused. We use anxiety pills like Xanax and Prozac to basically, calm down our anxiety. We use other supplements to basically help with sexual enhancements and performance. And we're looking at where are these dysfunctions actually coming from? And the problem is that people are too scared to get out of their comfort zone. So the most important thing is, taking the first step, because the first step is actually the most difficult one. And after that, build momentum. So another book that I would highly recommend would be Flow, right? So it's optimal psychological experience. And basically, once you get in momentum, and you kind of slow down, the momentum will actually build up. So, it's basically like if you start a business and you keep hustling or you push with your ambition, later on it'll pay off, because after, you can take a vacation or you can kind of slow down, the company will continue to grow, and, the money will grow along with, the momentum that you build from it. Now, I'm not anybody certified to tell you what to do with your life, because everything that we do is going to be based on decisions and choices, and it's always going to be pretty difficult to make your own choices. But basically, we don't influence other people. Basically, what we do is teach other people to make other decisions for themselves. Alright, so how are we doing this? Basically, like I said before, we're doing shadow work. So this is the, face it, talk to it, be it kind of thing. So just to make it a little bit more simple, it's basically doing a 3-2-1 instead of a 1-2-3, because that's how we disassociate. So it's the cognitive dissonance that we're doing. To associate and own our emotions, we're going to do the opposite effect. So we face it, we look at it, we talk to it, why are we feeling the way that we are, and basically own our emotions after we become the emotions that we're trying to get away from. So if you are addicted to any kind of substance, whether it's alcohol, prescription drugs, any hallucinogens, which they say that's not possible, I mean, you probably want to change that with a different habit, because that's how you change habits or break a habit, because it takes basically 21 days to reform a new habit, and from there it has to be a continuous kind of thing. So if you ever tried to stop smoking cigarettes, some people say chewing gum would be the best thing that you can do, or maybe exercising. Exercising is pretty good. Some people are running addicts, or lifting weights is another way that you can do it, because it releases endorphins and releases all the toxins that the body would receive from all these substances that you're taking. So right now I'm where they played ball basically in Chichen Itza. So basically they would try to make the ball into the hole and then continue on from there. So it's a great way to express yourself, exercise, be healthy, and people that exercise live a lot longer, especially when the endorphins start kicking in and the dopamine starts kicking in. We're more grateful, we have more gratitude, and we're more happy. And people that are more happy are known to live 8 to 10 years longer than most people. So you'll probably ask, Brian, what if the substance actually, helps me? What if, smoking weed actually calms down my anxiety? What about those kids that have cancer, or they have uncontrollable autism, or Tourette syndrome, or some spaz attacks that cannabis actually helps out, or something like that? Or what if someone has PTSD and MDMA is the only thing that you can use, and stuff like that? So what I would actually say is, usually when you're using it, you want to use it moderately. I mean, especially when they're using the research, they're using it in moderate dosages, not exclusively what you use at clubs or something like that, because obviously that'll kind of take it a little bit further, because you've seen people overdose on a lot of things. They used to say that if you took LSD at least 10 times, you'd go clinically insane. So it's always going to have this ambiguity to it. It's going to be very ambivalent, because we have so much research that says that this is so beneficial for our health and stuff like that. So, like I said before, you want to use it in moderation and with a practice if you are going to actually use it. Just because, from experience, anything that would alter my state has always been something that will help me basically get away from reality. It's like an escape from reality. So, if you're trying to escape your problems, you're not actually facing them. And if you don't face them, then you're never going to get through with them. So you have to do it head on. That's basically what it is. So try to deal with it as much as possible, because obviously we can only do it with so much degree, because some people are, a little bit more sensitive than most people, and not everybody is as strong as another person would be. So you know, looking at everything that we have learned from the videos that I've been making, you can use this, right? You have a plethora of resources, and not even just my actual YouTube channel. You have an array of things that you can get from, you know, other spiritual teachings, or any anxiety YouTube channels that will teach you how to, you know, control your anxiety and stuff like that. So basically, it's all about focus. You know, the more that we focus on ourselves, the more that we'll be able to concentrate and not focus on our anxiety, because that's basically what it is, right? So we're looking at an array of things, and you know, if it comes to the actual point of trying to, you know, use any substances, basically, you know, like, that's always going to be on your decision. It's always going to be something that you want to take into consideration, because basically all about everything that it is all about anxiety, you know, it's all about desensitizing yourself. So if you're going to use a substance, I mean, by all means use it, because it's going to help, you know, but you know, use it moderately, and then little by little lower the dosage, right? But again, you know, who am I to actually tell you what to do? But for the most part, as we lower that, the less we're going to rely on it. So the less that you rely on it, the more that you know that you actually did the work yourself. So hopefully this helps. All right, guys, so I'm out and about, what I just talked about. Man, this place is so huge, so beautiful. Oh man, it's so hot at the same time. Take everything that you can out of life. This place is like a maze.